Hello students, I'm going to show you how to work some of the problems on the latest concept practice test that I have here for you that I've uploaded. Some of the pages, not all of them, but some of them. This is page 5. The first question says, what is the value of 6 minus 2 times 3/4 plus 1/5? Okay, so what we're going to have to do with this is follow our order of operations. I'll write out the problem. 6 minus 2 times 3/4 plus 1/5. Okay, so if we have our handy calculator, we can clear our memory first, and let's enter 3/4, 3 ND 4, scroll over, plus 1 ND 5, scroll over, enter. And we get 19/20 here in our window. So I can put 6 minus 2 times 19/20. Remember your order of operations. Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. Okay, P for parentheses, E for exponents, M for multiply, D for divide, A for add, S for subtract. Multiplying and dividing are interchangeable. It's whichever comes first, left to right. The same thing with adding and subtracting. If subtracting comes first, left to right, you subtract, then you add, just like we read a sentence. But right here, we had to get our work within our parentheses first. Add our fractions, 3/4 plus 1/5. And we get 19/20 in our calculator. Let's do it old school just for practice. Let's put 3/4, and when I add or subtract my fractions, I want to stand them up. So 3/4 plus 1/5. Okay, in order to add or subtract fractions, I have to have what's called a common denominator. I want to change 3/4 and 1/5 into something that 4 and 5 will both divide evenly into. So I'm going to use one trick you can always use. Multiply 4 times 5 together. We know that both of those numbers go into 20 evenly, correct? So let's use 20 for our common denominator. I know that 5 times 4 equals 20. And anything I do to one side, I must also do to the other side. So I have to say 1 times 4. So 1/5 equals 4/20. They're the same amount. They're equivalent fractions. Let's do this one up here. I know that 4 times 5 equals 20. So I must also multiply 3 times 5. Because what I do on one side, I must also do that exact same thing on the other side. 3 times 5 will give me 15. Bring down my denominator, down south denominator, and add my numerators, up north numerators. 15 plus 4 give me 19, and there is my 19/20. Okay, so back to our problem here. We have 6 minus 2 times 19/20. Okay, according to our order of operations, we have to multiply or divide before we can add or subtract. That means we have to do this step right here, 2 times 19/20. So let's put that in our calculator. Let's clear out our memory and put whole number 2 times 19, hit our fraction key, ND, 20, scroll over, enter, and we get 19 over 10 as our answer for that. So now we'll put 6 minus 19 over 10. Okay, so let's multiply that old school just for practice. We have the whole number 2, which I can put over 1, times 19 over 20. Now multiplying fractions is no problem. Top times top, bottom times bottom. So I could go ahead and multiply that across 2 times 19 and then 1 times 20. But I can also save myself some reducing later by cross-canceling, because 2 will divide into 2 evenly, and 2 will divide into 20 evenly. 2 times 2, 2 times 10 is 20, and 1 times 2 is 2. So that's going to save me reducing later. We're just reducing it within the problem instead of at the end of the problem. 1 times 19 is 19. 1 times 10 is 10. So 19 over 10 is an improper fraction. That means it's top heavy. It's heavier at the top. The numerator is larger than the denominator. Okay, so we can fix that in the calculator by doing these steps. We have 1910 in our window. Let's click your green second key and hit your X10 N key, which is right next door to the fraction key, ND. You get all kinds of different little things in that window. This is just going to change it to a mixed number. Hit enter and we get 1 9/10. So 19 over 10 is the same thing as 1 9/10. Okay, let me show you how to do that if you do not have a calculator. 19, your numerator always goes in the division box. 19 divided by 10. 10 will go into 19 one time. 1 times 10 is 10. Subtract. 19 minus 10, 9. 9 is now our numerator. Keep 10 as our denominator, and there is our 1 9/10. Okay, we are still not finished with this problem, because now we have 6 minus 1 9/10. And that will give us our final answer. So let's enter this in our calculator. Clear your memory and put 6 minus, let's put our mixed number in here. To put a mixed number in your calculator, you'll need to use the second key and the ND key. And that will give you 3 windows there. A window there for your whole number. Scroll over, your numerator 9, scroll down, your denominator 10, scroll over and hit enter, and we get 41 over 10. Okay, so that is also improper, meaning it is top heavy. The calculator can fix that for us. Let's hit our green second key, the key X10N right next to your fraction key, and hit enter, and I get 4 1/10. for my final answer. Okay, let's do this old school, just because I know a lot of you like to see how this is done. So let's take 6 and subtract 1 9/10 from that. Okay, so I want to take one of the whole away from the 6. That leaves me with 5. And any number over itself is 1, right? So 5 and 10 over 10, that's the same thing as 6, isn't it? Now I have something to subtract 1 9/10 from. 5 minus 1 is 4. Bring down my denominator of 10. 10 minus 9 is 1. There's our 4 1/10. Now, if I had 41 over 10, and I wanted to make that a mixed number and I didn't have my calculator, all I would have to do is put 41 inside my box, numerator in the box, divided by 10. 10 will go into 41 4 times. 4 times 10 is 40. And subtract 41 minus 40 leaves me with 1, which is now my numerator. Keep my denominator of 10. There's my 4 1/10. Okay, there's a lot of steps to working that problem. That's a good practice one. Good practice with using your calculator. Good practice with using your old-timey fraction rules. I'll be back next time to show you how to do problem 2.